Chee Yun, it is so great to see you, and we're really looking forward to working with you very soon, next week.
Thank you. Great to see you again. And I'm so looking forward to working with you as always.
It really has been a wonderful tradition. Let's start by rewinding to the very first time we worked together. It was at the Asa Music Festival, right?
Yes, it was.
And I think you were all of 15 years old.
Maybe 16 or 17.
But if I remember correctly, you were playing the Valse Scherzo of Tchaikovsky.
Oh, so that would have been when I was 15 years old. Wow.
It was a fantastic performance. And
Thank you so
and
much.
there have been so many wonderful opportunities when we've gotten to work together ever since. Well, let's go to the very beginning. When did you first start playing the violin?
Well, I started playing the violin when I was, I think, about 6 years old. It's
Oh, already over
unclear.
the hill.
Well, in today's standards, yes. I am the fourth child of four children. And I had my two older sisters who were already playing the piano and the violin. And so I wanted to play instruments. The problem was there was only one piano. So when I wanted to practice on the piano, my mom kept saying, "Oh, no, no, no. Your older sister is preparing for important competition. You
Uh-huh.
need to get off the bench." So then I looked at the other sister who was playing the violin, but every time she had to pick up that instrument to practice, she had big tears dropping from her
Oh,
big eyes. And I felt so bad for her. And so I went to her and I said, "Look, let's make a deal. I want my mom's attention, and you hate to practice the violin. Let me practice it for you."
wait a minute.
Truth.
You're 6 years old and you're already coming up with this perspective of about how your mom feels and how to negotiate with your sister at the age of 6.
I guess so. I mean, I just hated seeing my sister so sad. And
Yeah.
I just wanted my mom's attention. And I was like, well, violin is the answer.
And so, did your sister wind up doing anything else musical, or was she just off the hook?
She was off the hook immediately. And she really wanted to be a ballerina. So she
Oh,
started taking ballet lessons. And so she was happy. And of course, I was happy because I finally got my own instrument.
well, that's great. And what instrument do you play now?
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you asked because I call him a he because he's my boyfriend, he's my husband, he's my partner in life, and it's Francesco Ruggeri.
Oh,
He made this instrument, beautiful instrument, in 1669, and I purchased it when I was in college, when I was offered a recording contract. And that's when I thought, well, I probably need to play on a better instrument than the instrument that I had since I was 10 years old. And that was also Miss DeLay's suggestion as well. So I found this instrument through by name Fushi in Chicago. And with the help of a very generous patron who gave me an interest-free loan, basically, I started paying for this violin 1 month at a time. And then 15 years later or so or more, it became mine.
wow. What a great investment. Now, you mentioned Miss DeLay, and for the
Yes,
people who are not super knowledgeable in the violin world, you're talking about the famous violin teacher Dorothy DeLay, who
yes,
taught for decades and decades at Juilliard. When did
yes.
you first start working with her?
I started working with her when I was 13 years old. That's when I first came to America. And the reason is because I wanted to study with Dorothy DeLay.
As we both know, Dorothy DeLay taught literally hundreds or maybe even thousands of students.
Hmm.
And so many of them were enormously talented. But I'm going to tell you something that you perhaps never heard before. But when I was just starting this series with Miss DeLay,
Yeah.
in that first year, Miss DeLay said, "Now you just got to wait until you hear Chee Yun. She is absolutely fabulous, and she's only 15 years old, and she's really going places." That is
Oh, are you
exactly,
serious?
I'm serious. And for somebody who has taught so many prodigies and has worked with so many people, that was actually something amazing to hear from her.
Oh my God. You never told me that. And I would have never even imagined
Not that there was a danger of it, but I didn't want you to get a big head, especially when you were 15. This just came back to me right now. But that
Oh,
is what she said.
oh my God. I'm speechless. Oh wow.
So, what is your life like now? What is sort of the carburetor mix of all the things that you do? I mean, obviously, you're a great star playing concertos with many different orchestras. Sometimes you do recording sessions. Maybe sometimes you have recitals, chamber music. Is any of
Yeah.
that in the mix or teaching? What is sort of the whole career like now?
So, I've also taught for more than 10 years at SMU and also at Indiana University. SMU is Southern Methodist University in Texas. Also, I lived in Cincinnati for a couple of years when I was married and taught at CCM. But this is all while I was performing. I just love traveling and just doing my thing, playing the music. But also, I've now recently moved. Actually, I don't know if I've told you to Brooklyn, New York. So
Uh-huh.
I'm back East Coast, private teaching as well, and also Zoom lessons. I have some students in Italy, and there's one in Japan and in Korea. And most importantly, I've been asked to host a program in New York City called Young Artist Showcase on WQXR, which is a classical music station in New York. And in fact, that's the program that I debuted when I was 17 years old. That was like the first time that I had to speak on the radio program. And the host of Young Artist Showcase at the time was Robert Sherman, who
Hmm.
had since become my mentor. He sadly passed away last year, but
Hmm.
he had actually talked to me before and he said, I would like to recommend you to be considered to be one of the guest hosts for the Young Artist Showcase. Would you be interested in doing it? And I said, I've never been an interviewer. I have been an interviewee many times. And he said, oh, it's just like talking to artists and it's talking about music, which you love so much.
Right.
And he said, it will be just like so natural for you. So I will let you know when that happens.
So, how often have you played the Lalo Symphonie Espagnole?
Well, funny you asked me that because it had been good 2 decades since I recorded it and then started playing again. It seems like lately it has become a little bit more popular.
There's this inexplicable tradition that I think
Hmm.
went back to the early 20th century, especially the first half of the 20th century, where the piece has five movements.
Yes.
But lots of times people would omit the middle movement, the third movement. Have you ever heard about why that was?
I don't know because that is a big mystery to me because if not my very favorite movement, it's one of my favorite movements of that piece.
Yeah.
And in fact, that middle movement to me, it's like Bizet's Carmen, so passionate and so virtuosic. And in fact, he calls it Symphonie Espagnole. I feel like it really involves the orchestra too. They have a
Yeah.
big role in it. And there is a lot of conversations that goes on between the soloists and different instruments and different sections of the orchestra. And
Right.
I love that dialogue. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that third movement has amazing dialogue actually with the orchestra.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
looking forward to that very much.
Well, we're looking forward to it so much too. It's so wonderful to see you again. Everybody is just going to eat it up. You're going to kill them. So
Thank you.
we're going to see you soon.
Yes, see you soon.
All right.
Bye.